So thank you, Latia, for those amazing introductions.
Wow. That was amazing. Thank you.
Jessica.
Hi.
I am honored to have you.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored to be here.
No, you are truly a supporter of women.
I am.
I can look up on your social media and you are promoting women's businesses. I have even seen myself pop up on your page before. You're like, this is our women crush. Yes. And I'm like, this woman truly is a champion for women. So thank you.
Oh, of course.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So we're going to dive right in. Hey, Lizzie. We are going to dive right in. Many people struggle with finding their true passion and purpose in life. How did you discover yours, and how did you make them align with your career choices?
Oh, my true passion and purpose. You know, I think that it was a combination of getting through a lot of hard times and having to find what, God bless you. Having to find what really brings me joy, or where I saw the light in my life and where I saw the light in myself when no one else did. And it actually, for me, it started when I was really young. I was 11 when I really actively pursued entertainment and acting. And yeah, just like really trying to find my voice. And my family was tough. I have a lot of stars in my family. They are all main characters. And just even getting in a word is tough. They all sing, they all dance, they all act. They all have 5 other jobs as well. They're all doing the most. And you know, I'm not naturally an extrovert. I'm an introvert. And so for me, I found my space in actually playing other characters and being someone else. I was also really sick as a kid, and I think going through a childhood where I was in the hospital a lot, and I was weird. I didn't have a lot of friends, and I think also just feeling isolated because I didn't have a ton of friends growing up, and I was kind of a weirdo. I had to find wherever my joy was in my life, but I've always talked to God. I used to see angels when I was little, and I always knew that I had a purpose. And I prayed a lot that if I could be successful, I was going to do something good with that platform, and I was going to help people.
You have kept your promise. You have definitely kept your promise. What I've admired most is that so many celebrities go and start businesses, but you truly owned the space. You were one of the first that I said, you know what? She is truly taking this like by storm. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if she's reading the books in private. I don't know if she's studying.
Yeah,
but you owned being a founder. To me, like none other. So many other celebrities, they may put their face on something. They may say, oh, you're like, no, I have a passion behind this, a purpose behind this. I believe in this. I'm going to go pitch it myself. I'm going to show up in these meetings, and I am going to go pursue this.
Yeah.
So in your experience, what roles do you, I would say, play in your continual learning as far as just your personal growth, your personal development?
It's interesting because that was really difficult going into rooms, trying to put together a business deck. I didn't know how to do that. It started as like a scrapbook of ideas with a lot of words and imagery. And then I kept putting that in front of people, and people kept telling me everything that's wrong with it or everything that needs to change about it. And I did that for about 3.5 years until I honed this like 100-page scrapbook filled with a million ideas and consolidated it into a 10-page, pretty concise idea that I pitched. At the time, the hot thing was a subscription business model, and I knew I wanted to be direct to consumer, and I knew I wanted to create a brand that really stands for transparency and ethics and values, that really cares about health and wellness, the people and the planet. And I was going up against businesses that have been around for over 100 years. And everyone told me I was nuts and there was no way I was A, qualified, or B, it was ever gonna happen. So it was about 3.5 years of me investing a lot of time, tears, not a lot of sleep. I had a new baby. I was pregnant with my second right before, when I actually raised my A series, or actually my seed funding. And I just hustled and figured it out, and figured out how to turn those no's into a bunch of yeses. And it was not easy. It was very humbling, but I learned a lot about my perseverance. I learned a lot about listening to my gut and that voice when I was 11 years old that told me that I had a purpose and a reason to be here and that I mattered. Same voice to my 27-year-old, 28-year-old, 29-year-old, and then 30-year-old when I launched the business. I had to listen to that same light, that inner voice, because I knew this business needed to exist. I knew that it wasn't fair and it wasn't right that people are being poisoned, and especially people in the Black and brown communities. We are affected more than anyone else when it comes to exposure to toxic chemicals. And I was like, the government's obviously not going to step up and do anything about it as long as they can make money off of it. And so I, as an entrepreneur, I can do something about it. And so I did.
That is remarkable. Now, when you were pitching, what was the response?
I got a lot of, can I take a photo with you? Because my wife really likes you. Or I grew up watching you on. So it was a lot of that, and I had to shift their mental into like, okay, now my business. Okay, now look at these numbers. Now look at these statistics. Now look at this data. So I quickly had to become well-versed in business terminology and acronyms. I had to learn so many damn acronyms. Oh my goodness. Even before I would go in to pitch VCs, I would like sit there and look up them again just to refresh them in my mind. So I, wasn't sitting there like, not knowing what I was talking about, or something they were saying was going over my head. So you almost have to be the most knowledgeable person in the room about your business. You got to know it inside and out, and you got to know, I believe, and arm yourself, and I learned this through trial and error, how to answer all of the hard questions and know that they're gonna give you all the resistance, and it's your job to unlock why it needs to happen and make them feel like they're missing a huge opportunity if they don't invest in you. And so I figured it out after a while. And when I went and pitched, finally I partnered with some people that I knew VCs felt comfortable partnering with. I altered my business model to fit inside of a subscription. And I got, out of 6 pitches, I got 5 term sheets. So that was my first unlock.
That is awesome, and thank you for taking us through that process. And my partner, Arian, and I think she was just saying, or we were both just saying, we got into VC. She said, really, it was just the language. She was like, they're making this more complicated than what it has to be.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, all these words. She was like, dry powder, just say money. Like, why are we having this discussion?
It's nonsense. The acronyms are so ridiculous. And then now I'm on the other side of it. I'm on a couple of boards, and I'll just say, wait, can you explain that to me like I'm in kindergarten? And then they start to swallow their words, because a lot of times they just say the acronyms and they don't actually know what it means themselves either. I'm like, you went to Harvard. You're the one that went to HBS. What are we talking about?
Yes. So you mastered the pivot, the pivot from just being a success.
But you can also call them on it, which I like.
Yeah, that is true. You've mastered the pivot. Just splendidly. So pivoting can also involve building new networks and relationships. How do you go about forming connections and seeking mentorship during times of transition?
Ooh, that's hard. You know, I come from a very strong, like, don't show your emotions, don't show signs of weaknesses, and don't ask for help was the culture that I grew up in. And I had to really retrain my mind and my soul to have the courage to be vulnerable. And the best thing I ever did was reach out and ask for help from people who I looked up to. And these women that I would reach out to didn't know they were going to be mentoring me. I kind of forced them to. I would just cold call like Tory Burch or Diane von Furstenberg or Sheryl Sandberg. And I would, or if I passed them at a thing and I knew they were going to be at the thing, I would be like, so 5 seconds, can I ask you a question? And I would ask them something that I'm going through in business, and they would give me amazing advice. And because they had been there before, and there's so few women that are successful in business, because we get so few of those opportunities, there's so much community around that, and they can relate to a lot of those pain points that we experience purely because we have a cervix. I mean, a lot of times that's really genuinely, that's it. And there's a bias that comes with it. And there's resistance that is just ingrained in a lot of the people that hold the money bag, that hold the power. And then when you get to kind of break through, and they taught me in different ways how to, like, you just have to make the guy feel like it's his idea thing. And I was like, oh, okay, right. You have to, like, walk them around the track and, like, sort of mansplain it back to them, and then make it feel like it's their idea. And then you have to be really grateful when they're like, I think, and you're like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Well, I guess this is not a complete pivot. It looks like your acting skills work in the boardroom as well.
Because in the beginning, I was like, I don't have time for this. But then you just have to, like, take a breath, and you just got to learn how to find a flow. And it's just humanity, right? They're trained to play their role as they are. And so you just kind of have to, like, go with it and figure out how to work with it and not work against it every time, because being a warrior every day is exhausting, and you have to, right? It's exhausting. And sometimes we don't need to fight every day. Sometimes we can do it with kindness, we can do it with the velvet glove, and sometimes who cares how you get to the answer? So the guy thinks it's his idea. Awesome. You still got that money, the check cleared. Great, you know? So just those little things along the way really helped me. And I did reach out to people, and then I started to build community, and I mentor a ton of entrepreneurs, and anyone who has come my way, I don't necessarily always invest in their business, but I do always give advice, and I do always, I'm sort of like the sister that kind of has been through it, so you don't have to. And I've been a sounding board for a lot of entrepreneurs along the way, and I think it's important, because it took so long for me to kick that door open, I just want to make sure that it stays open for not just one other, but for 10 others to come through.
And you guys, she's just not talking. Trust me, she walks this walk. I can even remember when we first started the fund, and I was sitting on a Zoom during COVID with you, and we were going back and forth, bouncing ideas, and I'm like, this woman really represents everything that she says. So she means all of these words. My next question, if you stand out, it can be dangerous. This is as a woman of color entrepreneur at a time where there is an attack on our businesses. Mm-hmm. Can you elaborate on that?
I mean, when you threaten the status quo or the establishment, they're gonna try and take you down, right? They will try to take you out. And so that's to be expected. And that's when you really find prayer. And your homegirls and margaritas help. But yeah, it's interesting how you almost have to expect the haters. And that's almost when you know you're doing it right, when they're coming for you. And so instead of it being the thing that keeps you from fulfilling your goal or what you need to do, let it be a lesson and be the fire that keeps you going.
Now, this is just a little, well, no, off script, but activism is just in your blood.
Yes.
Where did this come from?
It must have been a past life thing. I don't know. I was born with, like, when I saw any social injustice, it just got me. Like, there's video of me at Disneyland. I think I was at Disneyland. I was like 5 years old, and with my thick Southern accent, I grew up in Mississippi and then Texas before I moved to California, and I had this thick Southern accent. And I was like, I'm an independent woman. I don't need a man for nothing. And I'm like a little 5-year-old in the line. And my brother and I had just gotten to a fist fight in the car. And I have like a black eye. And I have no teeth because I knocked him out being, doing dumb things. And I was just like saying all the stuff. And I just always called out injustices. And I never understood why women couldn't be treated as equals or why we needed in any way to bow down into our place. It just never made any sense. And so it always made me a little bit violently angry when I was little. And I turned that anger into passion to change it in my small way. But I think if we all make that effort, we will make a massive difference.
No, that is awesome. And that's amazing that you were like that at 5.
I mean, facts. Facts.
Building a brand like The Honest Company requires a clear vision and understanding of your target audience. How do you identify the gaps in the market and shape your company's mission and values around them to create and gain a loyal customer base? Because you have a community, and oh my gosh, I love your eyeliner. I love the hydrogel cream.
Yeah.
Like, I am a user of the products.
Thank you.
Wipes and all.
It literally gives me butterflies when anybody says that they like the product, because this is I live for this.
But they are amazing. I'm not saying that because you're sitting on this couch or anything like that.
You.
They are truly amazing.
I agree. They were made in my lab. I think when you have a vision and you surround yourself with people who are also visionaries and experts in their field, you can really attract the talent that's on the same vibe you're on. And everyone can kind of rise to the level. And so I feel so lucky that I have an incredible team. And when we start creating and vibing, we create pretty iconic products. And I'm so proud of them for taking also the leap and betting on themselves. And just grateful that we're able to actually have an idea and create something and put it out into the world. It's one of the best feelings. So, yeah.
That is awesome.
I think you have to, it's having, just having your soul into it and being authentic and genuine with what you're doing. And I think if you guys, and I know you guys do that every day with your business, you're going to create ambassadors and fans of what you do just because of the realness, the root of what you're doing, and the fact that you do have your whole heart and soul into it. It's not just to make a buck.
You guys have expanded your product beyond baby products. Of course, that's what everybody remembers when Honest first came out. And now, of course, I've started talking about the beauty products. But what was your vision at start? Did you always plan to have this expansive product line? Or
my original binder of ideas was like, literally, it was like 100 pages. I mean, I was going in my mind, like appliances. I was gonna freak appliances. I was gonna make everything non-toxic in your home, in your life. Like, I dreamt up the most kind of beautiful, sustainable world so that everyone can thrive. And I had all those ideas in there. And then you have to just look at what's viable. How much money is it going to take this idea from A to B? Who can you partner with to actually make it happen? And then what is the market opportunity? So if you're going to put all this effort into this opportunity, is it going to be a $10 million business 5 years from now, or will it be a $100 million business 5 years from now? And so we always go after businesses that are in the $100 million business range of opportunity, knowing that it's going to take time to get there, but then it just helps with focus. Because my ideas were way too, I wanted to do it all. So you have to also be strategic and streamlined and focused, which I'm gonna say, not my strength, but I have an amazing business partner who's really great at that, and she reels me in. So yeah, I think it's also knowing what your strengths and your weaknesses are. And if you're gonna put this much effort into something, will it give you the payback? So.
No, that's good, because like you said, you had a lot, but you had to be strategic in how you rolled it all out. You couldn't just start.
Yeah, and in the beginning, we tried a lot of things because our customers were like, I really want you to make this and this, and so we did a lot of it, but it doesn't really help for the discipline around a really healthy business, and you need to have a discipline around a really healthy business, not just always being 100% consumer-centric. You gotta find a balance between the two.
That is good. In a previous interview, you spoke on delusional confidence. Do you remember this? Delusional confidence.
Yes.
And how is that a tool you use to fuel your life?
Well, I mean, you really have to fake it till you make it. Because if you're doing anything brand new, it hasn't been done before, but you gotta pretend like it's already been done. And it's this like weird dance that you have to do.
It's like to act as if it's already done.
You have to act as if it's already done, and it's already here, and it's already up and running. I mean, I remember just even with getting that first seed round of money, I mean, we didn't know how to make anything. And we so confidently, we were like, and we're gonna make this, and we're gonna do this, and it's gonna be done like this. And I remember when we packed our first boxes and sent them out, and we were like testing different types of bubble wrap, eco bubble wrap, and wrapping our products in it and throwing it off the tops of our cars in the parking lot to see if the laundry detergent exploded. And you know what? It didn't explode, but you know when it did explode? It exploded in the winter, because when it froze, it exploded. But like that, these are like the pain points that you learn along the way. That I never would have thought about, And so, yeah, you just have to like have confidence, you gotta fake it till you make it, and then you pivot, and when something goes awry, you fix it immediately, and learn from that and keep it moving.
That's awesome. What is next? 5 years, maybe 10 years, and I know it's a question many people ask. It could be in business, it can be in life, but what is next?
Oh, I think that I'm going through a time. So the last 5 years, I've really been going on like a bit of a spiritual journey. And I learned how to meditate, and I've been doing a lot of inner work. And I got to a point in my life where I was really feeling the exhaustion of fight and being a warrior and being drained. And so I really want to figure out how to be productive and still create, but do it with joy and not always be in the fight. How to allow for more fun, more joy, more ease and grace in the process of also being an activist and really caring about what I care about and standing up for what's right. And I think you can have both. And I don't think it's sustainable to have no sleep, work 24/7, and to just be at war. And so for me, it's about trying to figure out how to do both and to also give myself grace when I don't do it so well. But yeah, you guys really inspire me, and I just want to thank you guys for pursuing your dreams and for being here and also building this community. You guys together can move mountains. Even just this energy, this vibration that you create is like no other. And you guys are special, and you matter, and your businesses need to exist.
We're going to close right there, because that is a wrap. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was it.